Hey guys, it's Graham. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm giving you another update on what's happening in my future. Am I going back to Spain? Am I going to be an au pair again? So I'm going to be talking about all that stuff in today's video. Before I start this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you can be alerted every time I post a new video. I really appreciate all your support very much. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias. Before I start this video, I would like to give a big shout out to President Pedro Sanchez of Spain for always giving me such crazy content to talk about. So thank you, Mr. President. Please don't keep it up. Essentially, the whole point of today's video is I'm giving you an update on a video that I made a couple weeks ago about my future plans, and the last thing you heard was that I may or may not be going back to Spain, but things aren't looking too good for me. Well, the good news is things have changed. Things are looking up for me, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. Now, I know this video is not the kind of video that I really produce. I don't like to talk about myself a lot, but if you're looking to be an au pair in Europe in like 2020 through 2021, then this is very relevant for you, because the information that I'm giving out here applies to all of Spain and possibly the rest of the countries in the European Union. So be sure to listen through the video, especially the part where I talk about entry barriers and the legality of being an au pair. I promise this won't be a boring video. It's really exciting, and I have some really good information in there that you definitely want to catch. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. The last thing you heard in my other video, and if you haven't already seen it, I'll try to link it up here, is that things were not looking very good for me as to if I'm going to return to Spain or not. Back 2 weeks ago when I filmed that video, things were not looking very good for me at all. As a matter of fact, it was looking very bad. I had just received news from the consulate that Americans are going to be barred from entering Spain. I am an American citizen. I do not hold any other citizenship, so that means that potentially I could be barred from entering Spain as well. Just before I made that video, I sent the consulate an email trying to figure out whether the ban applied to just tourists or visas as well, and I was waiting to hear back from them when I made that video. Thankfully, I have heard back from them at this point, and the good news is I'm going back to Spain. I could not be more excited about this. I'm so thrilled. It's a huge weight lifted off my shoulders, because for the past 3 months, I have constantly just been nervous sick over whether I'm going back to Spain or not, because I had no plan B. I finished my associate's degree in college and I'm ready to start my bachelor's program, but if I couldn't go back to Spain, I couldn't start a program because it was too late to apply for one, and I hadn't booked any photography sessions, which is my job here in the US, past September the 1st. So I had no income and I had no studying to do. So I was really hoping to go back to Spain, and the good news is I am going back. A few days after I made that video, I got a return email from the consulate in which they told me that the ban only applies to tourists. As long as I have a visa, I will have no problem getting into Spain. This was a huge relief for me, not just because I wanted to go back to Spain, but also for my host family. My host mom and I had talked right after I made that video, and she essentially told me that they might have to do a plan B if things didn't work out for me, because of course they do need somebody, and I completely understand that. It is a crazy thing. I'm really relieved for myself and for them that we don't have to go through another option and that they don't have to find another au pair. So this video, I'm pretty much going to be talking about what my next steps are, and then I'm going to be making another video much like this one in about 6 weeks or so, right before I leave for Spain. While I am well on my way to getting my visa and going back to Spain, I do still have quite a lot of things to do and get ready for, because if you've heard me talk about the visa, you've heard me say that it is such a long and gruesome process. It has taken me almost 3 months to get all the stuff I needed for this visa, and I'm almost finished with it. I'm so close. Before I can actually get my visa, I do have to get a bunch of documents together. Some of those documents include a signed contract from my host family, proof of insurance, proof of income, essentially that I can afford to stay in Spain, proof that I'm going to attend a language school, a certificate of good health, a background check, quite a lot of documents, and unfortunately a lot of those documents are not easy to get a hold of. Just today, I received the results of a background check, and I drove them straight to Atlanta, where I have to have them translated into Spanish and have the apostille, I don't know how to say that, certification, where essentially it's like an international notary. It was quite an expensive thing to get, but it was just one more step, one more thing to do, and thankfully I'm done with it now, so I'm a bit closer. Like I just said a second ago, I have spent close to 3 months working on all these documents, and I still need a few documents from Spain from my host family, so it's definitely been a journey, but I'm so so close to the end at this point. I only need 3 more things and then I'm good to go for my visa. One thing that I really was not expecting about getting all the documents before I started getting them was just how time consuming and expensive it would be. I mean, like I said, it's taken me 3 months, but it's also been really, really pricey because I've had to pay for a background check, I've had to pay for a doctor's appointment, I've had to pay for the apostille, I've had to pay for the translation. So all these things, it's really added up, and I think I'll spend about as much traveling to Spain as I did on my visa. So it's a very expensive piece of paper. The good news is once I have my visa, it is valid for a year and it's renewable for 2 years, I believe. So it is a process that I won't have to do again for quite a while, if ever. So I am very thankful for that. But getting the documents together has been, it has been a wild ride, and I'm so ready to be done with it. I also got a little bit of good news this past week when the people at the consulate told me that my host family does not have to physically mail me the contract. This is something that in the beginning I thought my host family would have to send the contract signed through the mail, so that way I could take the original document to the consulate with me to get my visa. But they told me due to extraneous circumstances like the coronavirus, they can email me the contract and the proof of insurance, which will save us potentially like 2 to 6 weeks waiting for it to go through the mail. So I'm super, super grateful for that. And once I have those documents, I will be good to go to get my visa. Unfortunately, just like the whole rest of this process, getting the visa is not that simple either. So I live just north of Atlanta in the US, and I will have to fly from Atlanta to Miami to physically apply for the visa at the consulate. Traveling right now is a bit iffy because we are still in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic and case numbers are really going up in the US, so I'm not looking forward to being on a 2-hour flight with a bunch of other people, but it is something that I have to do, and hopefully I'm going to be doing that within the next week to 2 weeks. As soon as I get the documents from Spain, I am immediately going to Miami to apply for the visa. Once I apply for the visa, it should take about 2 to 4 weeks to get the visa back, so I will be good to go as soon as I get that visa back. As of right now, I am still planning on that September the 1st start date, but really I don't know. It's kind of up in the air and it depends on how quickly they get the visa back to me. I feel really confident that I will get the visa because I don't have anything that would hold me back. I don't have a criminal record or anything. So I feel pretty good about it. I am nervous about one thing though. Spain has recently changed their requirements for the au pair visa. Used to, all au pairs from the US would have to take 20 hours of language courses every week. 20 hours. That is insane. And I do not want to take 20 hours a week because 1, that's super time consuming, and 2, it's really expensive to take that many hours. I'm paying just over 100 euros a month for my language school, and it's 5 days a week, an hour and a half every day. It's pretty affordable, but imagine if I pretty much like triple that. That would be how many hours I would have to take every week, and then triple the payments as well. So it would be like 300 euros a month, and that's just insane. I'm not gonna pay that much money to go to a language school. Recently, when Spain did update their stuff, they did not specify a specific time that you do have to go to language school every week, which made me really, really nervous because the language school insisted that I do 20 hours, but when I emailed the consulate, they said, and I quote, "Nada está establecido." If you don't speak Spanish, that means nothing is established, whatever that means. So hopefully I won't run into any issues when I do go to apply for the visa with this one, but I am very, very nervous about it because if there is a hiccup here, like I said, I really don't want to take 20 hours a week, and I don't know how I would resolve that problem other than just breaking down and taking 20 hours a week. It's not a convenient thing for me at all, and I'm really, really nervous about it, but I am gonna like print out the email that the consulate sent me. That way if they question me, I can show them their own words where they said nothing is established. Once I apply for the visa and it's approved, like I said, it'll take about 2 to 4 weeks to come back to me, and it should come through the mail, but again, I really don't know. I'm kind of nervous about that part of it. After I get that visa back, I could travel to Spain at any point that I wanted to, and I could enter and exit the EU however many times I wanted to in the next year. That brings me to my last point, which is the actual travel of getting from the US to Spain. Like the whole rest of the story, this part is really unknown and confusing as well because there are not many flights from the US to Spain at the moment. Despite contrary belief, flights are not that cheap right now to Europe, and there's not a bunch of them. I don't think there's any direct flights from Atlanta to anywhere in Spain, so it's gonna be a bit tricky trying to find a flight. I think I have found some flights, but none of them go to Seville that are convenient and inexpensive. So I think I'm going to fly into Madrid, spend a couple days with my former host family, and then take a train from Madrid to Seville. The great thing is, once I'm inside of the EU, I will be able to travel to any other EU country without any problems. Earlier this week, I was talking with another au pair from the US who's going to be an au pair in Italy, and she was telling me that she's having problems finding flights to Italy as well. What the Italian embassy told her to do was take a flight from New York City, which is her closest airport, to just whatever country inside the EU, and then take an additional flight, like a domestic flight, from whatever country she flew into to Italy. That way she wouldn't have to deal with the international part of it, flying straight to Italy, whereas she could fly to Amsterdam or Paris or Berlin, a bigger city, and then fly from there to Turin, the city where she's going to be an au pair in Italy. So I might have to do something like that as well. I don't really know. And if you're in a similar situation, just remember that once you are in the EU, you can get to any other country without any problems whatsoever. If I can't find good cheap flights straight to Madrid or straight to Seville, I think I'll probably fly into Amsterdam and then take another flight, but we'll just see. I mean, I really don't know, and I don't want to book a plane ticket yet before my visa is approved because the plane tickets aren't refundable, or most of them aren't, and I don't want to book a plane ticket just to find out that I can't go. Ultimately, I'm just gonna have to be patient, just like every other part of this story, and it's not that fun to be patient, but it is something that I'm just gonna have to put up with until I get there. And my mantra for this is, it's not real until it's real. So I say I'm going back to Spain, but I'm really not counting on it until I get there. Unfortunately, with coronavirus, everything is just so unknown. There's so many confusing things, so many confusing information out there. So I'm really being cautious as to what I believe and how much hope I'm putting into it. I am pretty confident that I will get to go back to Spain, but I'm trying to be open-minded and flexible with the dates and the times that I'm going to get there, because, I mean, who knows, I may not be able to go by September the 1st, and I'm just going to have to deal with that. Okay guys, so that is kind of my plan for the next few weeks. I'm going to make another video right before I leave for Spain, kind of updating you again on what's happening, what the future looks like, and then of course I'll make some more videos once I get into Spain. I'm really excited. I have some awesome content planned for when I actually land in Spain and when I'm actually an au pair again. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think. I'll be posting new videos every Monday and Thursday. Muchas gracias y hasta luego. Ciao.